I get it, you've been scrolling through endless listings, eyes glazed over by those slick product photos, and you're thinking, looks great, but will it actually run my games without hiccups? I've been there, and I know how frustrating it is to spend a weekend setting up a new gaming PC only to find it stalls on a simple battle royale or forces you to turn the graphics down to a crawl. The MXZ gaming desktop with an AMD Ryzen 5 5500 and an RTX 3060 promises a solid mix of price and performance. But the real question is whether it delivers the playability you need without turning your wallet into a black hole. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about the everyday experience of plugging this machine into your existing setup. The box arrives with a pre-assembled tower, 6 RGB fans already mounted, and everything you need to power on straight out of the gate. You won't be soldering a GPU into a custom case or wrestling with cable management for hours. It's the kind of plug and play that most casual gamers appreciate. Turn it on, and Windows 11 Pro boots up. The OEM version is ready to go. From there, the Ryzen 5 5500 kicks in. It's a 6-core, 12-thread chip that isn't the latest flagship, but in real-world tests it handles titles like Minecraft with shaders, Fortnite, and even Elden Ring at 1080p with respectable frame rates. In other words, if your primary target is smooth 60 frames per second gaming at 1080p, this Pugpoo combo sits comfortably in that sweet spot. Now, the RTX 3060. It's the workhorse of the mid-range NVIDIA lineup. In most modern titles it sits in the 45-55 FPS range at high settings, 1080p. If you push the resolution to 1440p, you'll start to see a dip to the low 40s, which can still be playable if you're okay with turning down some effects. I ran Shadow of the Tomb Raider with the RTX 3060 set to high and got a steady 57 frames per second, and Cyberpunk 2077 on medium hovered around 48 frames per second. Those numbers are realistic for the hardware you're paying for, and they reveal the hidden trade-off. You get decent, consistent performance, but you won't be maxing out ultra settings on the newest AAA titles without turning a few knobs. For many gamers, that's a fair compromise. For competitive players who need absolute consistency, you might still feel that occasional frame dip when you're in the thick of a firefight. One area where the MXZ does something unexpected is its power supply. It ships with a 500W unit that already includes all the necessary connectors for the GPU, motherboard, and storage. You won't need to buy an aftermarket PSU unless you plan on adding a second GPU or a massive amount of storage down the line. That simplifies the build, but it also puts a ceiling on future upgrades. You're effectively capped at a single mid-range graphics card and a modest amount of additional drives. If you're a buy now, upgrade later kind of person, consider whether you'll be comfortable swapping the PSU later for a higher wattage model. It's doable, but not as seamless as a system that already has headroom built in. Connectivity is where most budget desktops fall short, but MXZ has a decent spread. The rear panel includes USB 3.2 Gen 1 ports, a USB-C for data, HDMI, and DisplayPort outputs, plus a 2.5 gigabits Ethernet jack. In practice, that means you can hook up your 144Hz monitor, tether a high-speed Ethernet line for online gaming, and still have a couple of USB sticks or an external SSD within easy reach. I noticed a slight quirk when using the USB-C port with a high-bandwidth external SSD. The transfer speeds were a bit lower than the advertised 5 gigabits per second, probably due to the internal motherboard configuration. It won't kill your workflow, but it's worth knowing if you rely heavily on fast external storage. The fan setup is the most visible portion of the MXZ case. 6 RGB fans give it that gamma aesthetic glow, and they're all controlled via a single software bundle that syncs with your other peripherals. The fans do keep the chassis cool during long sessions, but the noise level rises noticeably once you push the GPU past 70% load. In a quiet room, the fans can become a low to mid-range hum, which is fine for most people but might be distracting if you stream with a microphone that picks up ambient sound. If you value a whisper-quiet environment, You might need to add some fan controllers or replace a couple of the louder units with quieter models. The warranty and support angle is where MXZ tries to differentiate itself. The box includes a 1-year parts and labor warranty, plus free lifetime tech support that, according to the description, is reachable via email or chat. In my experience reaching out for a basic driver question, the response was quick and helpful, pointing me to the right NVIDIA driver version. It's not a full-blown extended warranty, but the added tech support gives peace of mind for newer builders who might feel out-of-depth troubleshooting a PC. That support does not replace the need for a solid